Hello everyone, welcome to your second raw reading here today, Thursday afternoon at MadWorldTarot. We're looking at somewhat unsavory topics today, which is why I have the Urban Tarot on the tarot table. And the unsavory things we're looking at now are the redactions in Harry's visa case. Of course, the Heritage Foundation wanted his visa application made public, and after many months of back and forth, the court decided no, he has a privacy interest in not making his application, if even there was an application, public, and whatever order or whatever was came down from the judge was heavily redacted. And I'm going to read the bit that was most striking, and it goes, in particular, the summary judgment record reflects that the Duke has never disclosed publicly, among other things, interestingly, the following facts. And then there's 6 lines of black, heavy black ink. That is the type of information that a person would ordinarily not wish to make known about himself. So it's extra stuff. We've already heard about the drugs. We've already heard about the todger and various other intimate things that Harry has got up to. So eyebrows were raised. People wondered what could possibly be so private, possibly embarrassing, or whatever, that somebody like Harry would not wish to be made public. And the word stigma was used at some stage in this case. I can't remember when exactly, but he didn't want that stigma attached to him, or the court didn't think that that stigma should be attached to him. So we're going to have a look at this, because people have been speculating, wondering, and of course he's been given special treatment as a prince, member of the British royal family. People who haven't been given such special treatment, I think, have a vested interest in speculating and wondering what might be so private and possibly embarrassing or stigmatizing that the court decided it should be left in private and not disclosed. And people have speculated about things like treatment possibly for mental health problems, even attempts on his own life, which apparently have been rumoured or referenced by Prince William. I'm not sure about that, I don't know, but this is what I'm reading and hearing. Treatment for drug possible problems, and you know, rehab, private facilities, that kind of thing. Maybe doesn't want people to know about that stuff. Could be more criminal related, for instance, arrest, maybe for suspected drink driving or something like that, or around behavior with women that might be a little bit unsavory, that has been rumored. So we're going to ask those questions. I'm treading around them very carefully because we're in legal territory here, and I don't want to cast aspersions where aspersions don't need to be cast, shall we say. And I'm going to ask, outcome-wise, how worried was Harry about any of these things emerging? And did anyone sort of suppress them or exert any influence to suppress this personal information, the 6 lines of redactions, that were needed in this case, in this summary judgment? That's the word that I guess was the right word. And let's see. Let's remind you, because it's very important that we remember that this is just tarot for fun and entertainment. It is all speculation here. It's all just opinion. I just read energy. And of course there is a disclaimer in the box below. Please read it, do your own research, form your own opinions. So a little bit of a wonky spread here. Got the Chariot as our underlying energy, and that's purpose and willpower and driving forward. I think getting what you want, really, that the Chariot is for me very powerful as an underlying energy in the situation, that this was probably a given, that this was always going to be the outcome, that somebody was always going to be someone in the driving seat, the chariot, someone in control, someone whose force of will makes things happen. It's very powerful, and I think that that's literally what that card is saying, that this was the given outcome. It was never going to go any other way. That's how I'm reading it. So let's have a look at the situation with these redactions. What are we dealing with? We're dealing with born under a lucky star, the Wheel of Fortune, the wheel turning in Harry's favor, blessed, lucky, another get out of jail card, and I don't mean that literally, I mean it figuratively, of course, that he won the lottery, basically, even though he doesn't seem to think that he did. He has yet again this lucky break, and there are no consequences for him in possibly not filling in the paperwork, possibly not having the right, or possibly having fudged the truth on the paperwork if he did fill in the paperwork, or someone else filled it in for him, or getting a visa that he doesn't really deserve, being protected, being looked after. The big protector there in the Wheel of Fortune is Jupiter. And that energy is incredibly protective, and so he can pretty much get away with whatever he wants. These two cards are telling me that quite powerfully. They're huge cards, major arcana cards. They're very lucky cards, basically. So I want to know just generally a clue of what these redactions are about. I'm looking generally in here in the first column before we get into the nitty-gritty of it. I got indolence. It's the Eight of Cups. It's a heavy substance indicator, the Eight of Cups. Indolence, I always say with this tarot deck, some of the keywords yes, some of the keywords no. Indolence, maybe in this context, but it's more about something miserable that has happened in the past that Harry has walked away from. So it's something in his past that he has left behind him, and it could be to do with substances, it could be to do with mental health issues as well. So we're going to look at the treatment aspect of this story in the next column, but it's giving me that kind of vibe just generally when I ask the universe to just give me a clue. And I want to know about stigma now. Why would there be stigma attached to whatever it is? And we've got what's called the debauch card. It's a Seven of Cups. So it's interesting that this tarot deck, I used this tarot deck very deliberately because of this kind of vibe that it has. We've got indolence on the tarot table and debauch. I didn't pick these cards. These are the cards that arrived just by synchronicity, by divine timing, whatever you want to call it, on this tarot table. So I think it's to do with living the life of a lush that isn't going to look good if people know the truth about what was really going on in Harry's life. And it might reflect very badly on him. As I say, he's been quite free about his drug use in the past. He hasn't been that open about what might still be going on. And I've got two very heavy cards energetically of substance issues. So I think we're on that track. So the first treatment option that I'm looking at here in this reading is a mental health option. If perhaps he's had to spend time in some kind of facility, had some kind of breakdown, there have been rumors about things like that, made some sort of attempt, whether he's got mental health problems that are more serious than even he has led us to believe. He has spoken about his mental health problems. So that's the first option. What's going on here? I've got the Four of Swords, and absolutely yes with that card. For me, as an energy reader, my opinion, allegedly, let's stick one of those in there, because the Four of Swords is a classic going away for treatment card. Classic. It's retiring from the public eye after some sort of trauma, which would be the Three of Swords, the heartbreak, the loss, a sort of emotional overload, some kind of pain that can't be resolved, going away, Four of Swords, retiring from whatever public life that you're leading, going away for rest, recuperation, healing, treatment, kind of treatment where you'd have to maybe do, and I can't think of the right word now, it's completely gone from my head, but sort of reframe things and learn how to reprogram yourself and learn different ways of using language, and all that kind of stuff is in here. So there is something in here that would be not something he would wish to divulge, and I fully support that. There's no reason why we should know about that aspect of his life, if particularly it involved overconsumption of these substances that led to that kind of problem, some kind of attempt in that way. And I'm trying to not be too direct in my language use, obviously, and I am trying to approach this in a very sympathetic way, because if somebody has got those problems and did go down that path, then they deserve to have this kept private, in my opinion. I feel very strongly about that. So how about the other treatment option, which is very directly related now to the 7 and 8 of Cups, for actual substance issues, rehab, that kind of thing? Any of that we're getting. And we got the Magician in reverse, which is the Matriarch, sorry. The Queen, I thought, what, doesn't look like a magician at all. Wow, okay. Queen of Discs, that's the late Queen. The Matriarch, it says. Wife, Earth Mother, supporter. Possible. Both are possible with that card. Some might have been something that even the late Queen suggested or insisted on for him at some stage. It's not his own mother's energy. It could be the Princess of Wales encouraged him into this kind of thing. It could even be, and I do hate to say this, but it could have come from even his own current family, not his blood family, because wife energy is in the Queen of Pentacles. Doria's energy is in the Queen of Pentacles. That there might have at some stage been some you need to get help. It sounds implausible coming from those two, but if you think about it in a more sinister way, it might be quite plausible that they might want to be on record as sending him away for some sort of treatment at some stage. That's just my speculation, of course. I'm not accusing. I am just imagining scenarios where they might have, according to these cards, done such a thing, or suggested such a thing, or encouraged such a thing. So I'm getting very serious indications in this reading of overconsumption of substances, possibly extreme overconsumption of substances that might have led to the need for treatment, and some sort of treatment facility might have caused some kind of emotional breakdown, something like that, that also had to be treated. I'm getting the sense in this reading, that's of course just my personal energy reading, my personal opinion, that this could have been multiple events like this, not just one. It's giving me the sense that this was a repetitive cycle, trying to escape his problems with the 8 of Cups through substances, trying to get away from it. It would look bad to people, the stigma part of it, it would look bad to people who would say, why can't you just tough up and sober up and dry out and get yourself to yourself, instead of being caught up in this whole fantasy, basically. I could use a much worse word, but I won't. Okay, so that's that aspect of things. Now the other aspect of things that people speculate about is that there might be some sort of legal issue around here. Encounters with the law, say perhaps drink driving or something like that. So is there some kind of mention of that in this paperwork that we don't need to know about? This card kept showing itself to me when I was shuffling. The Nine of Pentacles, that's the Independence card, the woman who is living the good life. And I'm going to say this, it could not have to do with Harry so much. It could have to do with women that he has been associated with that Nine of Pentacles, because the Nine of Pentacles is very female energy. It's very out on your own in life, making your own way, making your own money. This kind of making own money just gives me the sense, it's quite interesting. It's like a hot tub. You could even say it's a bit nautical, the kind of a vibe there. And without getting too direct about any of this, there's just a potential in that energy of maybe some past behaviors with past partners, or even current, of that kind of energy, associated with that kind of energy. I think that's all I'm going to say about that card. And again, speculating, I'm just reading energy. That's what's come through for me in that card. How about less savory encounters with women that might also have shown up in some kind of legal documents, some kind of maybe police kind of documents, that kind of thing. That's rumored, and we don't know. It's complete rumors. There's a big one. There's a big one. That's the Tower. I saw that also when I was shuffling. Which is interesting. These two cards showed themselves to me very clearly when I was shuffling. And that is, the whole house of cards could come down with the Tower if that was known. I've looked at that before on this channel, those kinds of stories, those kinds of rumors, those kinds of speculations, and we have to say for legal reasons that it is all just rumored and all speculated about, and we do not know, and we probably will never know. And I'm just reading energy, and the Tower card has come out in that particular spot when asked that particular question, so you can extrapolate from there and form your own conclusions about that, I think. So how worried was Harry about any of this coming out? Yeah, he was very worried about it. Ace of Wands in reverse, absolutely. It would really put the kibosh on him as starting a new life. And the new life was going to be in America. It was going to be in inspiring people through things like Better Up, through Hollywood, Spotify, all the deals that he got, his book, all creative deals, of course, that's Wands, all visionary, all that kind of stuff that he likes to portray himself as being. It's in reverse. It would have stopped it dead. And also it does have that kind of lusty energy, the Ace of Wands, and it's in reverse. So that aspect of himself, which is showing up possibly in here, would have reflected very poorly on him as well. He was very worried about this. He needed this shut down, which it has been. Did anyone exert any influence? Maybe a politician, maybe a father, somebody like that. Did anyone exert any influence to get this whole thing shut down? So successfully, because it has been shut down very successfully. And I've got the Knight of Swords. It's called the Game Master in this card. It's like a strategist, somebody. I think it's not the King's energy. I'll say that right out. It's not presidential energy either. It's too junior for either of those. But it's giving me go-between energy. It's giving me, well, obviously lawyers. The Knight of Swords is a very obvious lawyer card. But I think it's more than that. There's some kind of mastermind that was watching this and making damn sure that the goal was achieved. This is very goal oriented, and the goal was to suppress this, which is what happened. And then we've got the born under a lucky star thing. Somebody with this Knight of Swords, and I don't think it's lawyers, I think it's a mastermind, somebody who it's the game master. And I can see this literally, if this happens then this, and we do this. I'm not getting so much pressure on the judge as being very strategic about this and kind of dragging it out as much as possible and playing all the angles and making sure that nothing escaped, nothing got out, which is exactly the outcome that they got. They got the goal, they got the win in this situation. But we, looking at it through the agency of tarot, the medium of tarot, of course, for fun and entertainment and just expressing opinion here, we see some things in this reading that don't tell a very pretty tale about what might be in those 6 heavily blacked out lines in that summary judgment. And so there's food for thought on this tarot table, I would say, and I'm going to leave it there, and thank you very much for watching.